for 6 months. But one challenge, even though we're good together, is we both lied to her parents that I'm an Ashanti, even though I'm Ewe. This is because her parents don't like her to get married to an Ewe guy. What do we do?
Yeah, bro.
Oh boy.
I think Rosie has tackled this issue
on different occasions, but yeah, let's go ahead. You want to tackle it first?
Yeah, daughter. But you handle it best, Rosie.
No, but I've never had a situation,
ladies. As opposed to if from the onset he said, I'm an Ewe man.
No,
and
right,
they'll be
you
like,
know, most of the time, I would rather for her to go to the house with him as a friend, so that they get to know who he is. They met at a class, met wherever, so that they can appreciate him on the friendship level, so that when they think graduate, it's easy to accept. But Ashanti, if I am the parent and my daughter came with a man and both of them had to lie to me that the man is Ashanti just to get through, the day they tell me the truth, question is that
what else are you lying
what
about?
else are you lying about? Can this man be trusted? This man can look the face of his in-laws, his parents, like his mother and father-in-law, and tell them that I'm Makan Ewe. So you see, sometimes lying, you see, the whole issue about lying is a very dangerous game.
Very.
Because once you start lying, you need to start lying to keep up the lie.
Yeah.
And you need to start, then the day that you want to break out of the lie, your reasoning doesn't hold water. It's like you are trying hard from all levels, but it doesn't hold water. They would like you as an Ashanti man, but the day you back to square one. I've had a situation where the man was Ewe. You know, some of the Ewes have Akan names. So the parents didn't know that was Ewe until the day of the engagement.
Oh, wow.
Because they had one of these local names, like Akan names, but they were actually Ewe. So the people came and they are doing the Ewe, and then I go. The parents are wondering, is the guy Ewe?
Yeah.
And it wasn't easy. I mean, they almost there and then they almost stopped it. It's deceptive. So the thing about lies is that it is no good. Right from day one, speak the truth. If you're a man of substance, your substance is the hard work, and let them appreciate you for about the fact that you're an Ewe. You understand?
Yeah.
But the moment you've lied, then it's going to be hard. Could be hard.
I mean, what Jess said in the instance that, okay, maybe they would have written him off if he started off by saying that he was Ewe. And now that they know him, they might accept him for who he is. Yeah, it could be. But I mean, you could be when you tell the truth and say that I wanted to tell you, but we couldn't because we know how you feel towards a woman. And now that we are very serious and we want to take this relationship to the next level, we don't know what better way. And we beg you. I mean, we're sorry for lying from the beginning, but you know what? We love each other, and if you give us a chance, I mean, I think they will be skeptical, but they will accept you because this is what it is, and they've come to love you anyway. So whether now you are Ewe, but you are not the different person, you are the same person who is before them. No choice.
It depends on how entrenched they are into the.
Add to what the sisters are saying. It all boils down to trust, and then marriage is what? A union between two families. So be very apologetic. If it means that you go with some kind of present, go. But let them know that you're so sorry. But then go on the engagement day and then your in-laws. For now, the earlier you tell them, the better.
Yeah. And if after you tell them they still, don't accept you, then for me, I'll say just, dust off your shoulders and walk off. At the end of the day, do you want to be in a family that, because you know in Ghana we
Accepts you.
marry into families. It's not an individual thing, you know. So if the family doesn't accept you, I would ask you to proceed with caution. You know, find someone else who would accept you for who you are, and yeah, you can find love out there. Yeah.
You can't go anywhere.
You know?
Are you sure?
Yeah. I mean,
I
you
tell
can, eloping is an option, but it's a very risky one because life is full of 3, 4, 5, 10 years down. You'll need to go back to the family, and that's where they will show you their true colors. All right, so let's just keep it at that. 054-9998-6996. It's Sister on CCTV and 97.3 City FM. A message from Jamie says, please, let's not create the impression that a woman who doesn't keep herself well is in the most beautiful shape of the man's chief for it. But women, I think you're picking up something Olivia said, but sometimes we can't get into all our thoughts. I admire your team and you up here. Now it says, good evening, sisters. And I've met a decent, handsome man some months ago. He told me that he was married, but he is my soulmate. I can't let him go. We are both decent Christians and have made all attempts to break up, but we can't. I tend to disturb or threaten his in my life.
And you call yourself a decent Christian.
This
No,
one is
whole
for
thing
Olivia.
about, yes, thank you. This whole thing about, I mean, you started off, even for me, I had a problem with even how you started off about the fact that you're decent, you're Christian. It's not about your religion. It's about who you serve. It's about life, and it's about decisions you take, and it's about treating others. At the end of the day, it's about love. Love your neighbor as yourself. He is married. I don't care whether he's not happily married, he's sad or whatever. At the end of the day, he's married. You have no... I don't care whether you fell in love with him or he came over to fall in love with you. He's married. He could not be your soulmate. He's not divorced to his wife. He has kids. He's got responsibilities at home. And you're telling us that you're Christian. What does
Decent.
Young women out there, you cannot sing for better for worse. On the day he got married, I've thought about the fact that you were not in the picture. He should have thought about the fact that, you know, this was going to be a lifelong decision. That is what he should have thought about. You have no business, I repeat, no business even trying to convince us that he's your soulmate. Leave the man to deal with his wife. His wife hasn't done absolutely anything. She's sitting at home minding her business, feeds the kids, clothes the kids, even clothes the man for him to look good enough for him to come and show off to you. Seriously, leave them to be. Have you even thought about the fact that you ruin a home? Kids who need their father, a woman who needs her husband is enough. Leave them to be. And shame on the man and shame on you, woman. I'm done.
Just let me see. Let me quickly add this. We think that she's boiling.
Yeah,
I can feel it. We think that people have psychological problems, and no, seriously, I think that we take for granted the people that we see clothed very well, wearing nice suits and ties, wearing nice dresses to work, and thinking that they have a decent job and so they are fine.
They are sane.
See, we are having a breed of young people, old people, whatever, that are wired differently and think differently. In her message, she's telling you that she doesn't want to break the home, but she just wants the man
in her life.
What does that even mean? You said you are a decent Christian. You said that you have met her through a friend and then he is your soulmate. I mean, how does that happen? The thing is that people are sitting there from day to day having conversations among themselves how it is okay to take someone's husband and spend their money, but it's okay because I need the money, but I mean, how much will he spend on me? He still has the rest of his money to spend on his wife and his kids. Like, people are actually sitting down having a drink, having that conversation. So you see that even if somebody is not contributing actively to that, they hear what is going on, and in their head, when it happens elsewhere, it's okay. You see, so we are breeding a generation of people who actually it from the basics are not correct. the whole message is totally wrong. I feel that I don't even know which church you go to, and I'm not sure.
Wait, I was going to say that when somebody who doesn't step times in a year, which is at least once a week, she has gone to church. She's probably a member of the singing band.
Those are the people
she's doing something in the house of God. So she calls herself a decent Christian because she probably doesn't wear trousers or doesn't wear shorts. So she's a decent Christian. From organizing people to now something else that you can't even recognize. That's number one. Number two, you see the man is your soulmate. The man is not your soulmate. You are an extracurricular activity, a convenient extracurricular activity. A married man can be addicted to golf. It doesn't mean that golf is his soulmate. You see, sometimes some of these shallow men, in the name of religion, they are so gullible.
Yeah.
So gullible. So we are here saying you are breaking the home. She's probably not breaking the home. The guy is just probably using her to distress. And you are busy saying the guy is your soulmate. If the guy saw you as a soulmate, that family would have been broken long ago. And I'm happy she's the one sending the message. I need you to sit up of your body. Imagine you were a youth leader in your church and a fellow person came to you and said, oh, I just met a married man and the married man says he likes me. What advice would you give that person? Number one. Now you've gone ahead. If you say you are soulmates, it means you're already doing this thing. So once this thing is already in motion,
how are you a Christian?
Once it's already in motion, it means that you have already committed yourself somewhat. But I can bet that the man's family is not shaking. In some cases, I can bet that the man's family is not shaking. The man's wife probably doesn't even have a hint. It means the man's what they are doing. So there's probably peace in her home. A side extra activity. You see, a lot of women, we come and sit here and we talk. But you see, if you're a woman and you have value on yourself, you know your self-worth, no matter the conditions, stop playing with people's husbands. Whether the man used to be your ex, whether the person was your friend, the person is a friend of a friend, the person is a colleague, somebody you work with, somebody is somebody you admire on air and you met somewhere. No matter the conditions, so far as the person is married, don't think that the man just got up and married the woman. The man thought about it and made a conscious decision to spend the rest of his life with the woman. If they are going to break up, it's not because of you, the extra girl. It's because they are having genuine issues. It's not because of you. Exactly. So never ever chase a married man and think that they break.
Okay.
Yeah.
Comments coming through with regards to this particular one. Says, "Oh, sister, you just made me laugh out loud. Soulmate indeed. We hear her. Please, let's go on. Why?" Another says, "Swore to be faithful." Yeah, you can't be a decent Christian if you're entertaining such thoughts. At worst, let's divorce. Okay, and that shouldn't have any. Vicky from Christian Girls.
Actually.
You know, being myself for a girlfriend. Great show. Another says, "Are you surprised she's a decent novellas we watch?" Let's move on. This is an interesting one from a male nurse. Says, "Sister and a nurse, maybe Abwabo, says, my problem is that I'm currently dating, but I don't feel like having children in my lifetime. I see it will be work and it will trap me of my social life, or I may not be hurt my girlfriend."
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay, so I'm not shy to say on TV that I also want just one kid. I also have my own, and you have given your reasons of not being a good father, da 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 da. Like, it's perfectly okay to feel the way you feel, and you are not abnormal. Just have a discussion with the person you are with. That is it. Because you see, sometimes for the things that we fear, we sort of live in that fear and take it with us, and we actually fall into that thing that we didn't want to happen. So for me, I would say that have a discussion with the partner that you are with and say that, listen, this is who I am. This is what I want. After all, it's two of you coming together to live your lives. So if she's comfortable with it and she says that, oh, listen, after all, it's not a big deal, or she wants to adopt like a child and sort of take care of the child, you will still be a father, but probably you will not go through the whole process of her being pregnant, emotionally, whatever, and you don't know how you react to that. You know, you need to discuss your options with your partner, but absolutely, it's fine. There are people like that, and you don't need to feel bad about it.
Okay.
To add to what Tina said, I actually do know of a couple. They don't want kids. Work, they do whatever. No, they're not Ghanaian.
Just
It's
checking.
rare.
Yes. Yeah.
It's rare for Ghanaians to feel like that.
But she's African. She's but they don't want kids. They don't want, and they are so happy. They don't even want to start talking about kids. But you need to talk to your girlfriend.
Absolutely.
Find out whether she's on the same page as you are. If she's on the same page as you are, then yeah, fantastic. You guys can have an amazing life. But if she's not, the earlier she knows,
I
the
don't think
better.
they are. Else he wouldn't be worried.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And he said he doesn't want to disappoint her.
Exactly. But you owe it to her to tell her. But that's the thing as well. Keep your mind open. Keep your options open. Don't be so caught up in the negativity or your previous experiences that are probably forming the decision that you're making today, because things change, life changes, things can get better. I just don't want you to be so caught up in the negativity, because you might end up replicating whatever it is. But just keep an open mind. Yes, you don't want kids, it's normal. It could change someday, but by all means, let this other girl know.
Absolutely.
And just keep an open mind.
Because it's a deal breaker for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and when we're going through phases of life, we have different phases and what we expect at each stage. age and based on which we make our future decisions. I mean, when I was growing up, at some point, I thought I was so tomboyish, and I didn't think maybe the whole thought of
Changing
but I didn't even have breast on my chest to even think of breastfeeding. So, I mean, the whole thought of doing the whole mommy thing, it wasn't part, I thought it wasn't part of my DNA. The whole mother working with your child, and I thought it wasn't part of my DNA. You understand? And a time comes, you are so ambitious, you're young, you want a family, you want money, you want to run businesses, and you think that being a father is going to slow you down. One, it will pin you down location-wise, and then it will also pin you down responsibility-wise. And you fear that the way you are going is not the major thing in your life, but you may be surprised. In the next 5 years,
You might change your mind.
you might change your mind, especially because normally those who have this thing like, I don't want a child, they're usually the women, because they are afraid of the process, the changing bodies, the complications that may occur in the delivery process and all that. So most of the time when you have a woman who doesn't want to have a baby, it's more understandable because they have a lot of fear for the whole process. But for men standing aside, not wanting to be a father, once you can take care of somebody, once you can appreciate somebody else's child, aka your girlfriend, most likely you may be able to be a father, just that you haven't put your mind to it yet. Thinking, this is a critical deal breaker, so it's important that you share it with your girlfriend that, okay, you know what, ideally I don't want a child. Pick her mind, because you see, if she's somebody who is also thinking that I found a fine man who could be the perfect daddy for my kids, and she's doing the whole, shebang to get married to and have beautiful kids, it will be a shocker to her when she realizes that you don't want to have kids. Then you either have a change of mind, or she's going to move on to life. So all I say is that keep your mind open, the same way you are right at that stage, that in the next 5 years things may change.
For a quick commercial break. When we return, I'll read some of your comments, and then we'll get into some more of your questions as well. This is City TV and 97.3 City FM. My name is Jessica. Don't go anywhere.
All day, all the time. Politics, sports, entertainment, business, and more. We bring you the world in 20 minutes.
20 minutes. All the trending social media conversation. We'll read it.
Situation. You put this article on the 17th of June. Today, he actually scored 2 goals in the Belgium World Cup meet.
30 minutes is all it takes, so you
Thick and fast. Let's see. So this one says, if you don't need kids, then don't date. That's from Samuel in PVR. Kwame in Domi says, hi Jess, regards to the decent lady issue, most of these girls are attached to married men because of the financial support. And so far, she starts having funny ideas such as break up the family. Another says, room to the fact that your audience are wider than the Christian community. Some are. Good evening, sisters. I think it's only in such. Let's see. Henry from UG says, really admire you ladies in the show. Also admire the different special. One sentence atheist.
Wow.
I have decent money to spend. There's some people who are interested on set.
Decent money, decent money.
Hey, Tina.
Emmanuel Arnold from Pashiman says, if this was a decent Christian, if this is what a decent Christian is, then I want to be a pagan. Another says, it's from Makafui, says, sisters, please, why is it that we Ghanaians have no issue marrying, say, American or Germans, etc., total foreigners, but some people still have issues with certain tribes? I think the Ewe man should redeem his dignity, walk away, and leave this back complicated enough. You have a point there. Okay. Since this one says, there's this friend of mine who got married flirting with other men, and she seemed not to care. I'm so cool with her husband and feel so sorry for him. My question is, what if she gives the innocent husband an infection or some kind of disease? I feel bad and want to tell her husband about this, but I'm also scared that it will end their marriage. What do you ladies think I should do? I have brothers and I can't. Please advise.
Because we don't have time, let me just give my comments. I don't know how you said flirting, having like affairs outside the marriage.
But flirting is what she said.
Like
they've gone beyond.
Me, what I'll say is, it's usually the person that you've caught that you need to speak with, okay, and that's your friend. It's not your place to actually go forward and speak to the man. I know that some people would disagree with me by saying that, since I've said that, it's not your place to go to the man, because if he was your brother or if he was your relative, you would want him to know. But what I feel is that your work should be on the lady by telling him, pushing her that, listen, you need to stop this. If you need to threaten her, you can threaten her, but don't take it all the way to the husband. It's not your place.
Because I'm confused. Okay, to start with, like I keep saying, we are all different personalities. We are all different people. We all do different things, and different things are allowed in different marriages. You don't know what in their marriage is. So sometimes when you see certain things that may not be pleasing to your eye, and you run and go and tell the third party, especially when you have access to the immediate party. Maybe the third party is actually your friend and you heard it and then you probably dropped it in a chat or something. That's different. But when the first party is actually somebody you have access to, somebody you can also call a friend, it's not your place to run to the final party, because what happens is that, you see, when people are united by the thing black and white, but the two of them, they have a way of trashing it. Now the third person, not only do you lose your friendship with both of them, you now end the reputation of being a gossip, being a potential homebreaker, being a potential this, potential that. Meanwhile, that wasn't your idea to begin with. So like Tina said, I think I will side a bit with Tina that, look, if you have a problem with somebody, go to that person and let the person know that, Charlie, Tina, not like it's Tina, but like,
but why?
You've been married for just 8 months.
Okay.
Why did you not love your husband? I mean, what's this? What's going on?
Maybe you just wanted to tick that box.
Maybe you just wanted to tick. What is it? What's going on? Then maybe you can advise her and say, look, my dear, maybe there are a lot of women, or if you know that this is not for you, why don't you have a conversation with your husband? Because you are better off breaking an 8-month marriage than breaking an 8 years marriage. You understand? Or letting the lady know what her value is, what she can do, what she can't do, advising her and all that. But the immediate action is not to tell the man. because most likely you'll be a third person. Most likely she'll know how to cover her tracks. Most likely she'll know what to say to anything. She'll also be chit-chatting with some guy and the
Okay, so to add to what the sisters have said, I won't repeat what they said because I agree with them. Married, if you know you're not ready for marriage, stop going on Facebook and seeing them getting married. It's not just what you see, a glamorous event, and that's where it ends. No, by all means, because this thing is becoming too rampant, where married people feel at the end of the day they get married, do a ceremony, and then they go back to words that you say to each other on the day. So married people, if you're married, you're married. Don't go out flirting. And yeah.
Sister on City TV. This message just makes me smile. It's coming in from Mark in Santa Maria. It says, sisters, can you believe I'm monitoring the time? I don't want you girls to go. I know, we don't want to go either, but we'll be kicked off soon. We'll be making way for the next program, very important, and I'll tell you about it shortly. But hey, I want to give a shout out to Ebby May Interiors. They're always the people who bring us our lovely set you see here today. If you want lines, if you want something, Ebby May Interiors, you can actually log on to their website and check them out. EbbyMayInteriors.org, and Ebby spelled EBBY. All right, EbbyMayInteriors.org, or you can call them on 0246 77. Great. Let's move on to. I was introduced to a hospital by a friend with issues with my lungs. So I went to this hospital and I was checked and started receiving treatment. But 2 days later, I received a call from my doctor, who said he wants to help with my medication and help me buy my nebulizer. He didn't tell me all that there, but my folder and called. But I realized he got angry and no, so he decided to block me. Last month, he passed a comment out, and
there's nothing wrong with you. Yes, there's everything with you. Don't doubt how you're feeling. Isn't it unethical for doctors to do that? When you're a doctor, you're professional. He's obviously a quack. Don't go to that hospital anymore. If there's a way, personally, I wish you could report him, because he's being a perv, and he's getting into your private space, your private life. I mean, really, was it your fault that you got sick? Facebook, whatever, just block him off, and don't think twice. You don't need him for anything in your life. He's mine. That's just by the way, but really, go enjoy your life and ignore him.
See, I agree with what you did, but you will escapades. See, I have a friend who got candidiasis for the first time, went to the hospital, who is supposed to be by him when he's doing the check, and now there's a swab that you stick up there and do whatever, and he used his finger. And at the time my friend hadn't for, and she kept on moaning like it's pain. And then she said, keep quiet. She said that the doctor said, keep quiet when your boyfriend is doing this. That's how you talk. People start telling you what they go through you will find out that thing you have to go to another hospital, which if you don't need him, because he can sabotage you, if he can get angry at you and all that. So if he can get angry at you and everything, it will be safe, because he can write a simple report inside and they'll give you the wrong medicine, and it will spoil something, I think you should check out of that hospital, go to a different one, block, you're done.
That people who are supposed to constitute professionals in the society, who we are supposed to run to for help, not only is professional capacity in our who is elderly and supposed to be somebody's grandfather somewhere, and he's probably or a decent church elder. So you see, it's very unfortunate when the very place that you run to for medical care, and then you get such kind of treatment, because you see, some patients may not have the mental strength to do that. Hey, Dr. Mwa, and no pay and then me maminya tunu, then they'll fall pray. So it's what you have said. I think you should report him to the medical board.
Yes.
Because you see, sometimes as Ghanaians, we like this whole family attitude, or the fact that you have escaped, you think it's okay. I think it's high time when we meet such professionals, such people who yield a lot of respect to society, such professionals that people respect. I mean, a doctor like this could easily pass off to be a pedophile, because imagine he's taking care of a young child, 6-year-old, 7-year-old girl on his table, in the name of examining the child. What makes you so sure that he will not poke at this child? So once you have seen some of these things, you say what? We should have people who should be able to escalate it to a medical board, so that he will be investigated and sanctions will be very hard. It's so terrible. I'm asthmatic, so I can understand. You have a serious, you are in a hospital and a doctor who is thinking of intimately defiling you
because he likes your shape.
Because he likes your shape, and that's all he's thinking about, instead of making you live. You understand? And I don't get it. So I think that we should move a step further. Yes, you've done the right thing. There's nothing wrong with you. Anybody who tells you that you didn't do it right, in fact, you should stop being friends with the person. I mean, that person can even sell you out.
True.
But take the next step and report this person to a medical board.
Can I quickly add? Sure. Young ladies, when you go to a hospital and you need some kind of examination, because of what Tina said, you need to be examined. All the time, there has to be a nurse
with the
standing.
doctor.
So if you go, especially for physiotherapy and those, and it's a male doctor, and you're about it, you have the right to speak up there and then and request for a female nurse to be by your side. Don't be afraid to voice out what you feel. If you go to the hospital and you feel that you and you're uncomfortable, talk about it. Ask someone to come speak up.
And always let the doctors explain the procedures to you before they do it. And feel free to ask questions. We don't ask questions
because it's your body.
It's your body. What is this condition called? Oh wow, what am I supposed to do? What are you doing? Okay, this is what I'm doing. It's going to be this. It's going to be uncomfortable. Let me know, and let the doctors respect your boundaries. Okay. You understand? And when you go back home, try and do a lot of research. I don't know why when Google is available. I don't see why people issues research.
Okay. Ladies, we'll end it here. Thank you so much for coming through once again, another Thursday. I've been in the studio with Rosine, Olivia, and Tina. We'll be back same time next week. Hope you enjoyed the show. But, all the messages that we weren't able to read, no worries. We'll hold on to a couple of them, and we'll begin with those next week. Shout out one last time to Ebby May Interiors for bringing us our beautiful set today. Remember, you can log on to ebbymayinteriors.org. My name is Jessica. Thank you very much for watching. This has been watching and listening, of course, because we're live on